Kwame Nkrumah's time, I wasn't there. But today I really wanted to be part of this. So today I'm here. So, yeah.
I'm not sure you have an opportunity to do your song today because it's strictly a state event, an official one of the sort. But is there any other thing that you're doing for John Mahama apart from the last one that is sent shivers down the spine of the opposition party now?
You know, he says President Mahama said we should all come together and then rave Ghana. So I have a quota, I have a part that I should play for his tenure in the office. So I'll do my part as a citizen of Ghana to support.
So far, the president-elect has made a number of appointments to the office that he holds. Julius Deborah is Chief of Staff. Dr. Callistus Mahama, Executive Secretary to incoming President John Dramani Mahama. He will be at
I'll do my part as a citizen of Ghana.
Jubilee House, that will be transitioned to the Flagstaff House. Prosper Douglas Bunny is going to be the head of the Interim Security Task Force. Dr. Valerie Mahama, Emisa Arthur Administrator.
One person has. So I am asking that. So for TV3.
Live pictures from the Blaster Square right here in Accra, and it's where we're having the inaugural presidential ceremony for John Dramani Mahama, and then also Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. And as you know, a number of dignitaries, according to what we know so far from official sources, have made their presence felt based on notification about coming to this event this morning. So far, we do know that there will be 21. All right, let's go back to Armstrong.
Press briefings. One was live here, just at the spaces within the ARC, where they took time to explain categorically the protocols. If you have inner perimeter accreditation, this means that we have been able to appreciate the need to reduce the numbers, and so that person who is doing who has access to inner perimeter can go to the green area where we describe as the Chamber of Parliament. So that person can go there. We are providing live feed to all media houses, both through online and through the Digibox and other social media handles. These have been shared with the media houses, but what we are observing is that some of the media houses want to do.
Okay, so Armstrong having an interaction with Eric Ahianyo, one of the lead coordinators for this inaugural swearing-in ceremony at the Black Star Square live right here on TV3. You can get the latest update if you are watching us on TV3 Ghana. Always available, 3FM 92.7, also across our stream. Komla Kluche up with the latest. Komla, what can you tell us?
Made, and we should rejoice and be glad in it. The NDC has been in opposition for 8 years by the grace of God and by the kind mandate that our victory is not a victory.
of governance and the speech John Mahama is going to be giving, his inaugural speech or the sort, what's your expectation?
Oh, to be very honest with you, I'm pretty sure that President John Mahama is going to appoint expertise, people who actually know the job. And I'm pretty sure that they will perform to the benefit of the government.
Okay, all right. Many thanks to you. Sir, congratulations are in order, your life on TV3. What's your expectation of His Excellency the President today?
Well, he's already has the track record of delivering. So basically, he's just going to continue his work and achieve the effectiveness that we're all looking for in the management of the economy and governance of the country.
Okay, many thanks. Sir, your life on TV3, what's your name?
My name is Khaled Caesar.
Oh, okay. What's your expectation of His Excellency the President today?
Well, my expectation is that His Excellency is actually going to deliver on his mandate as promised to the people of Ghana. Remember, as he went around campaigning, he really signed more or less a social contract with the people, and I think that he's coming to do exactly that by refacing the country.
Okay, many thanks. Let me go to Amanda Autry. Okay, all right. She doesn't want to talk. Let me pick a few thoughts from you, Sam. What's your expectation of His Excellency the President today?
My expectation is to deliver all the promises that it gave to the nations and make sure the youth in Ghana have gotten a job to do and we live a better Ghana that he assured us.
Okay, many thanks. Let me also speak to Kwame Zu, who is a former Secretary of the Ashanti region for the NDC. Today is a day you've long wished. Finally, you have it. What for you do you want to go home with?
It is a great day, and indeed a very historic one. For the first time in our history, a former president has made a very wonderful comeback. And more importantly, we are going to have the first female vice president of the Republic of Ghana sworn in today. So it's a happy day. You can see the environment is very ecstatic, and we are very confident that this is the beginning of a turnaround in the economic prospect of our great nation. Things are bad, but we have absolute confidence in His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and Professor Jinana Opoku-Agyeman to turn around the fortunes of this country. So we are confident that it shall end in peace and Ghana will go back to its glory days and we can again be referred to as a black star of Africa. It is a great day.
Okay, many thanks. Kwame Zu is former General Secretary of the NDC in the Ashanti region. The chairman of Christ Apostolic Church International. The chairman of the Christ Apostolic Church International. So what's your name?
I am Apostle Samuel Amponsa Frimpong.
Okay. What is your expectation of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama today in terms of unifying the country in his inaugural speech?
I want to say good morning to all Ghanaians and viewers. I believe that His Excellency appreciates the gravity of the work in front of him, and I am expecting that his speech will bring all the people of Ghana together.
And what role are you expecting to play in terms of men of faith?
Well, Ghanaians generally are people of faith. Christians, Muslims, traditionalists. We don't have many people in Ghana who don't believe in God. So we are expecting that all of us together will stand with the president and his government and we work together for the building of this beautiful country.
Okay, many thanks is the chairman of the Apostolic Church Ghana. Let me try and get some other people. I've seen Justice Sremsai here. Justice Sremsai, let me pick your thoughts on this one. Yesterday, we saw the swearing in of the MPs. Even those who were injuncted, we saw them being sworn in. Were you surprised?
Well, I wasn't surprised, but I believe that it goes back to the process of service and whether the injunction has been brought to the attention of them. There's one person who acknowledged service and yet chose to go and face the consequences of
of contempt. And I am particularly interested in seeing how that plays out. And as you saw in the proceedings, the speaker, then the chairman, that's the clerk, made him aware of the consequences of sitting in parliament when one, knew that he wasn't supposed to be there. And the minority leader said he's ready to face the consequences. So he offered himself to face the consequences. And I think that I would be very interested personally to see how that plays out in subsequent days.
And in terms of the base of your party, a good number of them have said that the current majority should have been combative because, it's been pure politics played by the NPP within their administration. Were you expecting the NDC majority to play to the demands of the base?
Well, I wouldn't say that they are refusing to play to the demands of the base. There are so many ways of doing something. So I think the ultimate goal that the grassroots wants is for the party to make use of the majority that we have. And I think from yesterday's proceedings, it was clear that even though it wasn't combative as you would expect, it wasn't combative as you say some of the members would expect, but I think the purpose was achieved. And most importantly, what matters is that the business of the day should be done, and the thing should be done in accordance to the will of the people. And I think that happened yesterday. As for combative, it is necessary when there is a need for it. When people, when the need arises, I'm sure they will see that. But mostly what matters is that the target or the goal should be achieved. And yesterday, I think it was a peaceful transition. And don't forget, we need a peaceful tranquility and a peaceful transition for today's event to happen. So I think what happened yesterday was beautiful, and it was something that should be commended.
Many thanks, Justice Femsai. He's a member of the NDC's legal team. Let's speak a thought of economists as well. Professor John Gachi is here. Let's see if we can get a quick word from him. Prof, congratulations are in order. For you, what are you expecting His Excellency the President to say in terms of the economy in his inaugural speech?
Well, I think he will give hope to the people of Ghana about how ready he is to reset the economy, to put things in place, to marshal a commitment from his team to deal with the debt crisis that we have, how to address food inflation, to address the difficulties that households are going through. I think these are the things that will feature in his speech. Of course, he will be reconciliatory and give hope to the people of Ghana.
Okay, Professor John Gachi is the one we just spoke to a short while ago. Let me also try and speak to a former boss of the National Service Scheme.
I was a presidential staffer.
No, I'm starting from there. So from there, you became a presidential staffer,
yes,
and you continue to play a key role.
I am Director of Special Duties of the NDC.
You are a very big man.
I'm a big man. You see me. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Sam. What for you are your expectations of His Excellency the President?
Oh, just we deliver on our manifesto pledge, and we think that Ghanaians will be. That's the contract we signed with the Ghanaian people. So we are sure that with the structures in place, we will begin hitting the road running.
Reconciliation is part of the process. How reconciliatory do you expect him to be?
But Ghana has never been at war, so I don't know about reconciliation. We are not at war. We have won election. A president is going to be sworn in, and we are going to kickstart. Yes, there's peace already. People have peace in their hearts. Yes.
Many thanks, Mr. Kwagbenu. He's a former presidential staffer. Oh, a former boss of the Tema Oil Refinery and boss as well, Mr. Wadako. Congratulations are in order. I saw the work you did in the Shanti region. What played the trick?
I think the people of Ghana have become very interested in the way country is run and the way the country is governed. And the trick was to communicate the truth and eventually the truth prevailed. And today we're about to witness the swearing in, the second coming of His Excellency President John Mahama.
I know you've not been given any appointment yet. Well, what are you eyeing?
I'm a farmer, and I'm very comfortable working on my farm.
You just would want to be on your farm. You don't want anymore?
The problems of Ghana are very practical. We need to be self-sufficient in food. If everybody is a minister, who is going to be a farmer? If everybody is a chief executive, who is going to be a farmer? So I'm quite content with where I am.
Okay, many thanks, the former tour and boss. Let me get quick word from entertainment journalist Abeku Santana as well. I know how vigorous and rigorous you campaign for the NDC. You saw this coming. For you, how reconciliatory should the speech or the inaugural speech of John Mahama should be?
Governor and TV3 Media General, we want to thank you for the immense coverage for His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama and Vice President Professor Jenano Pokwajima for the entire campaign. As you covered around the country in all the cronies with His Excellency, you saw yourself the trust, the goodwill, the confidence that Ghanaians have for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So based on that trust, that goodwill, that confidence, we bring that the Almighty God will bring that change, that transformation that we are all looking for. You can see that the atmosphere has changed. There's so much calmness, there's peace, there's that sense of purposeness that we're looking for to see, a real transformation, a leader with integrity, a leader we can trust, of humility, a leader who has so much respect. And that is what we are asking for. We are praying to the Almighty God that all this will come to pass and we'll see a transformation in our country.
Okay, many thanks, Abeku Santana. Let me get few words from those in the entertainment industry as well. Kafri Danku, an actress. What's your expectation of His Excellency the President?
A new day has come and I'm happy to be a part of it. I'm happy I added my voice and I can't wait for this new Ghana. I'm so happy for myself and my Ghanaians, my families, my fans and the whole Ghana. Yeah.
Okay, many thanks. What of you? What's your expectation?
Oh, I mean, we know JM is going to deliver. He's going to reset Ghana, and we'll all be happy and proud.
All right, many thanks. So many people continue to throng. Okay, the arrival of the majority leader in your short, Dr. Keselato Forsen, over there. The clerk to Parliament has already arrived in your short. Let me see if I can also get some very quick one from some other people who are here as well. The former head of state of Nigeria, good luck, Jonathan. Sir, you're live on TV3. Okay, his aide. Good luck, Jonathan's aides do not want him to speak in his shot over there. Let's see if we can get a few more supporters there. The regional chairman of the NDC. Let me start from the Western North Regional chairman. Today is in a day you've been well expecting, isn't it?
Yes, we've been expecting these days. In fact, these days should have come about a month ago.
When you say a month ago, how do you mean? Constitutionally, today should have been today.
Yes, I'm just joking. Honestly speaking, after the election, some of us were eager for this day to come. So we are very, very happy. We are here to support the inauguration, and everybody here is happy. We are happy. I'm sure my people are watching me, and honestly speaking, everybody who is watching me from Western North is happy, very happy.
Okay, many thanks. Let me get the next one from the regional chairman for the Western region. You've been expecting this day, isn't it?
By God's grace, I'm expecting it, and God has made it. I'm expecting it.
And what's your expectation in terms of how reconciliatory John Mahama should be?
The reconciliatory is very nice, and I think that essentially the president is come to reset Ghana, and all of us, our agenda is that whatever has gone wrong, we need to put together as a country and make sure the dreams and aspirations of the president will deliver what the Ghanaians want him to do.
Okay. Many thanks. Let me go to the Eastern region. Dr. Oliver Kevo. Today has been really a day that you've been expecting. Yeah. Most of the NDC people kept saying 7th of January, 7th, the day is right here. Yeah. What is it about it?
Yeah, I feel like how our forebears felt in 1957. I wasn't there, but how I feel they are feeling the same. This is the second independence for Ghana. This past 8 years has been horrible for every Ghanaian. Nobody was left out. The rich, the poor, the middle income, workers, unemployed, everybody was hard hit by the harsh government of this MPP administration. So today is a great relief. We've all been waiting for this day, and I think you can see the excitement all over. Everybody is happy, and we are looking forward for a better governance. We are looking forward for a 24-hour economy that will generate jobs for the young people of Ghana and bring prosperity to all Ghanaians.
Okay, many thanks. Let me go to the Volta region now. Chairman Agbavito. For you, I will take it from the leadership of the majority. Are you satisfied with the leadership of the majority and also the speakership?
Definitely, we are happy. Every member of parliament or anybody appointed by the leadership or the people in charge of the party, they are fit. And therefore, I believe that everybody that is sitting at the helms of the party in leadership in parliament, they are the right persons to lead the party in parliament.
Okay, many thanks, Chairman Agbavito. Let me go to the OT regional chairman as well. Firebrand today has been one that you've been really expecting, is it?
Yeah, I'm expecting it. We are all happy and we are ready for battle. And so we are around. And
when you say battle, what battle is it?
Battle because Ghana has been, collapsed. Ghana has been collapsed. And we have to start from our strength. We are resetting. We are resetting Ghana, and we are taking it as a war, and we have to fight a battle to win the battle and to set. Yeah.
Okay. Many thanks, Mr. Kandaba. Okay. Well, you will not make a comment. That's Kandaba for you, the outgone Minister for National Security there. A lot of people have gathered here, former heads of state are all arriving here at the Black Star Square, and shortly, once Parliament sits and the proceedings start, then the inaugural ceremony will kickstart officially. But the expectation is that John Mahama's speech, most especially, quite apart from the swearing in, would be that which will be reconciliatory, will be that which will give hope, will be that which will rally everyone around the Black Star and to give a semblance of hope to the many people who have reposed confidence in him, not just from his party, but from really across the political divide as well. Back to you in the studios.
Giving us Komla Kuche giving us a vivid description of how people feel, a number of representatives cutting across from those who have been appointed, Minta Kando already, and then also the Gamanche. Also in your shot there, but also giving you what the main issues are, the sight and sound, their expectations are. We already do know that the number of foreign dignitaries, various presidents, vice presidents, as well as representatives of various governments are already in the country. And from formal sources and what we've checked on the ground, we have former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, already in the country. And the U.S., through Joe Biden, the president, and the administration, They've sent a delegation as well. Virginia Palmer is leading that, but also from the U.S. itself, Shalanda Young, who is the officer in charge of the U.S. office for budgeting as well. The mayor of Los Angeles is part of that delegation. And then the European Union have also sent a delegation as well. Very important for us to put these into perspective. And we know that when it comes to the U.S., we also know that some of our bilateral as well as multilateral donors come from among them as well, apart from just having one-on-one discussions as well. So, but for Belgium, they have the foreign minister, Bernard Quintin, who has been designated by the leader of the country to be at this event. Very important for us to put that into perspective. In Africa, I also have already reiterated the presence. We've already seen the pictures, live coverage for his arrival at the Kotoka International Airport. That is the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Tinubu, and then also from Kenya, William Ruto, the President of Kenya, is expected on the grounds as well. So an array of dignitaries from across various subcontinents, the continent of Africa, elsewhere, just to make sure that they are able to spice up this event. We're told that hundreds, if not thousands of people from across the country have been given invitation and to also be here. Former President of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan, and then also the current president, all of them walking in tandem, representing the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And within the ECOWAS sub-region or the West African sub-region, Nigeria is one of our main allies because they are among the few English-speaking countries, apart from Sierra Leone, Liberia, those who speak English right here. Of course, parts of Cameroon also speak English, but mainly dominated by the Francophones in West Africa, but also speaks to the greater expectation of Ghana. Since we began the Fourth Republic, Ghana has become the beacon of hope. And you take a look at what the Afro Barometer reports, being the surveys that are conducted continent-wide across the continent of Africa, you'll find that Ghana and the democracy, apart from just witnessing some issues of reduction in fundamental issues of free speech, etc., over the last couple of years, is widely respected across the continent. And then when we go to the greater part of the world, on the global stage, among the Committee of Nations, Ghana getting a lot of accolades. We have a bigger relationship now with Xi Jinping's China, with their Belt and Road Initiative, where we have a great relationship with them. You'll find that they've become one of our main creditors. And so when we're doing the external debt restructuring, China, with that component of close to $2 billion, were one of the key partners that we needed to agree the terms with, apart from the Paris Club, as well as those concessionary agreements we have with the World Bank and the other Bretton Woods institutions. And then you find that the arrival and then the presence of some of those personalities are critical. And Kobe Mensah, Prof, one of the biggest economies in the world, I don't even have to say the US, the state of California, Los Angeles is in there. Even Los Angeles in itself as a city is a big economy. And you have among the representatives from Joe Biden, the US president, the mayor of Los Angeles here. What does it tell you?
Well, of course. I mean, usually when there's a new government, it's almost like a business. When there's a new management, new expectations, obviously from perspective of investment, obviously governance, etc. So I wouldn't be surprised that they probably had come with some kind of investment community delegations or some business delegations as well. You remember, I mean, you know that most of these Europeans and Americans, whenever there is a state function, they also carry the businesses along. There will be some business owners, or there will be some business moguls who are looking for opportunities. Some might be maybe they might have some business interest already. And so they must sort of start lobbying new administration to make sure that they are not impacted negatively. And so I won't be surprised that there will be some business delegation alongside the...
Talking about strong institutions that need to have, and the build-up, great presence of Akufo-Addo, especially in relation to the porous organizations of terrorists within the ECOWAS sub-region, for which the president, you'll find that when it comes to that, pictures the Agbabom of the state to be afforded, also John Dramani Mahama, the second time coming of him, just taking over from President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, alongside his Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who, by the way, is also there, and the Phantom from band from the Ghana Dance Ensemble, well placed, as well as the other cultural troops, also displaying traditional regalia, dance, renditions of songs, representing tradition, culture across Ghana for this very day. On your screens, and if you're just listening on 3FM 92.7, also those Noche dancers walking back, representing when the herds of the Volta region migrated from Noche in the present-day Togoland to Ghana, all be represented right here at the Blaster Square. Remember this coverage, we as a team, myself, Pakwesi, Nashoko, will be wrapping up, and then we have the next team also coming in, the fire chief officer also, as well as other officers of the Ghana National Fire Service seated. The Ghana National Fire Service also seated closely by leading officers of the police administration led by the IGP, as well as DCOP Yohonu. More importantly, other dignitaries from other African countries coming in. I can see President Ruto, William Ruto of Kenya, just having gotten down from his official vehicle for this auspicious event. And Dr. Alinyaba, the presence of these important dignitaries, especially the heads of state, what does it signify for us for this important day?
Yeah, I already said that it's just a sign of how Ghana have been able to maintain its diplomatic relations with other countries in Africa and beyond. And it is credit to all the regimes from the beginning of the Fourth Republic and beyond up to this day. So it is something that is testament of how we have carried ourselves as a nation, as a beacon of democracy, so they say, in the continent. Yeah. So it's something that we all enjoy as a country. If we had reached a point where we are having an important occasion like this and nobody around us seems to show enthusiasm by attending, and then other partners outside of Africa like the USA and Europe are not paying attention to what we are doing, then we should be worried about how we have carried ourselves as a nation, both in terms of diplomatic relations with other countries and the benefits thereof.
And Parkway, we've come to a point in our democracy where it looks like, despite, I have to say, is it a rank-cross election? We still have the presence of the vice president who outgone now, who was a presidential candidate of the MPP as well, and then former President John Agyekum-Kufuor, all of them there, just trying to lend credence to the fact that we have a united front when it comes to our democracy, right?
It's a lot more solidarity. And for me, I must really commend the former President John Agyekum-Kufuor, who is a statesman for this country, and also commend the outgoing Vice President Alhaji Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, together with the wife, the second lady, and to state that it's important that when we are done with our partisan political campaigning and trying to use that as a vehicle to come into a national office, when all of that is done, we are one people. And just to state that I'm glad that John Dramani Mahama is being given the support, because he didn't give this support in years past. You recall he didn't attend the swearing-in of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo in the 2021 swearing-in. He didn't congratulate Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I mean, but all of that is gone into history. But we should learn from these. These are statements that rallies the rank and file of the grassroots. I mean, when the grassroots sees this level of commandery, and we have always stated that we have a lot of peace amongst ourselves at a very higher echelon. So as politicians, you will see that I would exchange pleasantries with my opposite political person, MPP, NDC, CPP, and the likes. But if that does not trickle down to the grassroots, then we have a lot of admiration to go to. And I'm glad that this is happening. And so it clearly tells you that the rank and file of the New Patriotic Party is congratulating the president-elect John Dramani Mahama and the first female vice president, Professor Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman. And we should all learn from this in the future. If you lose an election and you have to be part of it just for the nationalistic stake, I think that is critically very important. And
as Dr. Palgrave Boakye-Dankwa ends there, pomp and pageantry well represented in the short now. The Asantehene, his delegation, and also just representing why Ghana as a country, we have been able to unite across all fronts. But in certain times within elections, Professor Kobi Mensah, we take a look at sometimes some of those rank-cross periods. We seem to think that the peace is just so thin, just on the other side.
I mean, the democracy is an adversarial game.
Yeah.
You know, it's a battle of ideas. And nowhere would you find democracy that you wouldn't find that kind of, so to speak, the rancorous, moments. Obviously, immediately the decision is made, everybody goes back to the table, and then we judge going forward to govern the country. So it is part of the entire processes. You have to debate in a manner that can win you the power, all right, and that actually brings tensions. But we should also be reflective of our structure, the social structure of this country, which obviously had contributed, to the kind of democracy or the kind of environment that we have. Don't forget, not every country participates in a very heated democratic practices and still keep the country, intact. There are countries that have gone through the democratic path but they end up fighting, you know, in terms of proper fighting. I mean, not this kind of choices of words, etc., but throwing blows and ending up, you know, splitting the country in a manner that is not, you know, expected of a democratic country. Don't forget, you know, just in Côte d'Ivoire, recent memories tell us how, you know, politics, you know, in the name of democratic, you know, engagement, actually, you know, brought a very beautiful country to that level that we've never had before. I mean, I lived in Côte d'Ivoire sometime, and I loved the way it was. Just to later on see that the country was in tatters, you wouldn't want to, you know, see that. But you see, we have to give credit to our systems. These traditional structures are very important. Our social structures are very important. The other time, you know, I just sent a piece, and I'm sure that maybe it will be out tomorrow in the Daily Graphic, about a very critical reflection of how Ghana's, you know, society has grown. And I was making references to the emergence of, you know, charismatic and Pentecostalism, all right? My argument, okay.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Ali Nyaba, as well as Dr. Pagre Bwachidankwa, Professor Kobe Mensah as well. But again, just to give you a recap, currently, the motorcade of the president-elect, again, just being interspersed in the shots, but also a number of dignitaries already also arriving. You have he himself also coming onto the ground, John Dramani Mahama, already also Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, also with the entourage making themselves present, making their way onto the ground. But just by way of recap, to tell you that traditional regalia, well represented, your Tumfo Setu the second, the entourage he's leading, already on the ground there, making way to find their seats, has to be ushered, well coordinated by the committee alongside the State Protocols Department. And we also do know the king of the Asogli State, the Agbogbomafia, and we also have him coming in there. That's Togbi Afede, and we also have the Gamanche, King Taki Churu the second, also in there alongside the president of the National House of Chiefs, Ojiao Hoya Ujebi. Now, apart from that, we have, as announced, a number of dignitaries who have come in, various heads of states, also representing their various presidents and governments across not only the continent, but also the world, all there. And President William Ruto, we just told you some few minutes ago, has already presented himself, arrived safely. And then Jacob Zuma, former president South Africa, right here in Ghana. Alongside, we have the various heads of the various security services, not only the Ghana Armed Forces, the Ghana Police Service, the Ghana National Fire Service, and all of them ready, and the team who are leading the dispatch for the incoming president, the president to be sworn in, also having those live pictures being interspersed in this great coverage by TV3, 3FM 92.7, streaming live, and you can always now. And it is not only the neighborhood, but the whole of Accra also paying homage and then also host to this great event, but also unified by the other 15 regions across the country where you're watching TV3 and the rest of the world. But please know that you have to stay right here. TV3 Ghana, across social media, 3FM 92.7. The next team will take over, and the great event that we're bringing to you live from the Blaster Square will be brought to you with great information, with all the things that need to be known, the personalities who are there, the various heads of the institutions of Ghana and across the world who are there. Currently in the pics, we have the various heads of the Ghana Armed Forces, the Chief of Defense Staff, as well as the other ranking leading officers of the Ghana Armed Forces, as well as just close by the Ghana Police Service led by Dr. Ekufu Dampare, the IGP, And then just next to the police service, we have the Ghana National Fire Service. And the next team certainly will be taking over, bringing to you this live coverage. This live coverage from TV3, and then we also are informing you about all that you need to do by sharing our stream. Let us know what you think about this event. Blaster Square is where the main event is taking place, the presidential inauguration of John Dramani Mahama. So far, the Ghana Dance Ensemble have been giving to the attendees as well as viewers great renditions through their big phantom from drums and giving renditions of music. Also, we have big cultural troops, not only from the Ghana Dance Ensemble, but also various cultural groupings who also are making display of a number of activities. So far, we've had some interactions. Komla Kluche, Armstrong, all other grounds, giving to you vivid picture live with the dignitaries as well as the various heads from across the continent, not only presidents, but also those from the various parliaments of the continent, others also representing their various governments, and this is a sight to behold. The Ghana Police Service, the State Protocol Department, the National Security, making sure today is secured and well served to make sure that the security of state, the democracy for the Fourth Republic is well consolidated, well represented through this historic event. So far, a number of dignitaries in there, 21 heads of state, vice presidents, representing also various parliaments across the African continent and the world, all right here. And apart from former President John Agyekum Kufuor, we also have the outgoing Vice President of the Republic, Dr. Mahama Bawumia, who also in the last election was the presidential candidate of the NPP. He is there alongside the former Second Lady, or the outgoing Second Lady, Samira Bawumia. A number of important events also taking place alongside this very great event at the Blaster Square. Now, for the U.S. delegation sent by the U.S. President Joe Biden, it's led by Virginia Palmer, who is the resident ambassador representing the government of the United States, Virginia Palmer, and then also having representatives and from the Los Angeles mayoral office, and then also the U.S. budgetary office led by Shalanda Young, among others who are also at this great event. The European Union, they've sent a delegation as well. You can find also in your pictures Akuya Sana Danswa, a former member of parliament for North Dying, and then other dignitaries also making their way onto the grounds. The inaugural event for President-elect John Dramani Mahama, as well as the Vice President-elect Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Just in case you're watching either on the streams of 3FM 92.7, as you're also listening, or also watching right here on TV3, please make sure you share the stream. The various heads of the security services also there, just making sure that the right things are done, marching through. Also very historic and important, President outgoing as he would be, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, having some interactions on his seat, as well as where he's seated on the dais with a number of dignitaries. And this is beautiful. Ghana's Fourth Republic being heralded, being historically shepherded by great security, great events right here for this event that is taking place. The outgoing president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the incoming president, President-elect John Dramani Mahama, and where else can you get it than right here on TV3, also listening on 3FM. If you're watching the streams, please make sure you share. Great history being made today, and also telling you how far we have come. Since 1992, following the ushering in of the 1992 Constitution as promulgated and again put together by the Consultative Assembly, we've had since 1993 great history made with the first president of the Fourth Republic, who had transitioned from being chairman of the Provisional National Defense Council, the PNDC, to be the presidential candidate of the NDC, to be elected and then sworn in as president, Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings, and subsequently John Agyekum Kufuor, the turn of the millennium, the year 2000, winning that election, sworn into office January 7, 2001, succeeded by Professor John Evans Atta Mills, again January 7, 2009, and then subsequently John Dramani Mahama, succeeding Professor Evans Atta Mills, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, following through being sworn into office after winning the 2016 presidential elections on the 7th of January 2017, and here we are today, the 7th of January 2025, historic as it is. The comeback of the former president as the president-elect and the national chief imam, Nuhu Shaributu, Sheikh Nuhu Shaributu, also at the grounds. Very important. And Joseph Akable, historic. You take a look at where we have traveled from in the Fourth Republic, you'd say that the numbers count, but also the events are very important, and how we've been able to, as a country, maintain these events up to today, the 7th of January 2025, the presidential inauguration.
Roland, very big day indeed. I mean, it's historic as you've classified it, and I don't think that there's any other word beyond that captures it accurately. I mean, since 1992, when this current constitutional dispensation took off, what we have seen is a conscious effort by the people of Ghana to ensure that, one, they go to the polls and cast the ballot, and two, to ensure that there's a peaceful transition where necessary. We saw the very first one post the 2000 elections when John Agyekum Kufuor took over from the exiting Jerry John Rawlings. We saw quite a lot of history being made, meetings that were taking place at the castle between political opponents that hitherto were seen to be enemies and were not individuals whom you could find in the same room, interact with each other, and also take over the affairs of government. Since then, we did it again in 2008. We were able to do it again in 2016. And back here again, we are doing it again in 2020. I mean, entering 2025 now. And so it's been one journey that the nation has been on for a while now. We've learned a lot of lessons from it, and it keeps getting smoother by the day. I mean, this time around, thankfully, what took place in Parliament was quite important. It was quite a peaceful process that took place as compared to the other parliaments in terms of the key events. And we need to state quite clearly that this is an event that is actually a parliamentary session, because under Article 53 of the Constitution, the president-elect is to take the oath of office and oath of allegiance in Parliament. The constitutional provision says before Parliament, which means that in the presence of Parliament. And so that takes place in Parliament. And we saw in the earlier republics when, if we pick Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, for instance, taking the oath before the National Assembly, and same happened within the Busia area as well. But since the Rawlings era, we have it taking place at Independence Square. So it becomes an extension of parliamentary business, but it takes place at a larger Independence Square. And so last night and early morning, those who were monitoring what was taking place in the Chamber of Parliament live on TV3 as part of our coverage, you recall that when they had finished with the election of the Speaker and that of the first and second Deputy Speaker, the Speaker of Parliament did indicate that he was adjourning proceedings to the Independence Square. And so that is the continuous session of Parliament that will be taking place this morning, where the President-elect, John Dramani Mahama, and the Vice President-elect, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, will be taking their oath of office and will be formally taking over. The argument has always been made that, look, between when the election of the Speaker takes place and when the swearing-in of the President takes place, there are those who have made the point that there's a bit of a constitutional gap of sorts. I mean, in that within a couple of hours, we do not have a president because the tenure of the exiting president would have lapsed. Fortunately for Parliament, immediately it lapsed. Just within about an hour or two, the House is able to get its speaker in place if there's no crisis. And that is how come the previous Parliament, when that transition was taking place and there were disagreements and there were back and forth among the members, there was a concern that, look, what will happen? Because it will mean that the House potentially will wake up in the morning and there will not be any Parliament, there will not be any executive. We'll just have a judiciary in place headed by the Chief Justice. But, I mean, fortunately, it is just for a couple of hours. The House rose sometime around almost 3 to 4 a.m. there. And now we have the session that is taking place now. We expect that, look, between now and let's say some couple of hours' time, we expect the session to take office. Now 10 a.m. So we still do not have a president in place, but a couple of hours' time, we expect that swearing to take place for the president-elect to take office. You had also make the point that in the interim, who takes over? Number 3. Or which other number? I mean, we've heard Abam Gbaben describe himself as such. And so it's a very important national event that is taking place. From the pictures that we are bringing you from the Independence Square, we see an attempt to make the venue also look a bit different from how it looked in previous years. And so this time around, there's a bit of a covering which ordinarily didn't exist. We've seen also an attempt to try and limit the inner perimeter as much as possible so that there's more or less an identifiable space where you can have the parliamentary session taking place. And so that is also a very good thing that we've seen taking place there. Lots of dignitaries, not just from within the country, but beyond as well, the African continent, coming over to participate. I see Dr. Valerie Sawyer in your shot a couple of seconds ago. She has already been named as a senior presidential advisor on governance matters. In the previous administration, she was a deputy chief of staff. I see a powerful man of God also behind her there. So it's a very big event. I mean, all those who matter in the country who can't make it or have been invited or have accreditation to be at that particular event are able to attend and witness what is happening at the Independence Square. The first time we are having a lot of first. I mean, I must say, we are going to have a first-time female vice president take the oath of office and take the office. I see former First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Her Excellency, immediate past, yes, immediate past, yes. And close by was the now former president. Exactly. The now former president. The freshest former president. Yes.
Soon to be former president.
Yes, I mean, I can bring
let's wait for that.
Martin and Kemini. So I'm joined by my colleagues, Martin Esiedu-Date and Kemini Amano. Martin, your reflection so far?
Yeah, I mean, it's been, first of all, kudos to the organizers. It's looked very, very well coordinated. Right from the onset when we saw the canopies going up, the laying of the green carpet, I think they are trying to represent the colors of the national flag as much as possible. And so the floor where most of the dignitaries will be walking on is green. And then you have the topmost part of the canopies being red, and then a few yellow patches around just to, you know, trumpet the specific colors of the Black Stars, which has dominated a lot of African flags, if you pay particular attention. And many of them have been attributed to what the former president of the Republic, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, started. So they thought that, I mean, there are some scholars who have said that the red, gold, green that runs through many of the African flags is as a result of the influence of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on the continent, who we can also attribute the continental unity of a single Africa to. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was actually strongly pushing that agenda of a united Africa based on those colors, etc. But as we speak, many people look very excited to be part of this momentous, event segment of our growing democracy. And as of now, we are told that about 21 heads of states from different countries have shown interest. Many of them have arrived. I'm told that 2 or 3 more are yet to be picked up from the airport, and then they will come straight to the event grounds. And again, the organizers have clearly demarcated. So if you do not have accreditation or a certain type of accreditation, you can't just access any and everywhere. And so many of the locals or people around who would want to observe this are sat under the main shed that is at the Independence Square. Then the canopies and tents that have been built are for the special dignitaries and invited guests who will be filling up those places. And so on your screens now, you can see the members of the judiciary going to take their seats, filing to go take their seats. Again, the head of the judiciary, that is Her Ladyship Gertrude Tokonu, yesterday was in Parliament to swear in the Speaker. It was quite interesting, the developments in Parliament from last night. Many of them are also expected here to actually form a Parliament. So the President can only be sworn in the presence of Parliament. So on these grounds, Parliament is expected to actually sit and start proceedings, and then it will be on the back of that the President will be sworn in.
So just a reminder in terms of where we are with the event, the order of proceedings as has been made available from the organizers, it starts with all guests being seated. The members of the diplomatic corps, they are also seated as well. Then you have members of Parliament seated. Then from there, there is the arrival of the former presidents, then arrival of invited heads of state. Then the next step becomes Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice and Justice of the Superior Court, enter the chamber and take their seats. And so that is where we are currently in terms of the event. And so from
it's also
this stage,
safe to say that the event is about 21 minutes late, because based on the brochure, at 10 a.m. we should see the Right Honourable Speaker calling the House to order. We expect that to take place in a tad. And you were talking about, Martin, about the colour coding, and the colour coding is meant to also direct the dignitaries where they should sit.
Right.
We know that one of the yellow tents will be for the incoming First Lady and her family, you know, the first family, so to speak. On the other hand, will be where the parliamentarians will also sit when the Speaker calls the House to order. We know that the other tents are also for the dignitaries, depending on where you're coming from, whether it's a mission or you know, it's an embassy, so to speak. And so the color coding, very much like the flag, but it's also specific to direct people where they will sit today. As they have already packed the place, you can see that, listen, we are almost there with the new government. Once that swearing in takes place, it's a different era for this country. And you know, when people talk about the history, the historic nature of the event, it's a lot of attention on the return of a former president. We don't talk a lot about the fact that there is also our very first female vice president.
You're absolutely right.
You know? Because it's absolutely huge deal for this continent.
It is.
A continent where many women are emerging as leaders of the country. It's good to know that we are inching closer to that. We have our very first female vice president. Earlier in the year, Namibia had chosen its very first female president. And so it's good to know that we're here on the doorstep of doing the same thing for women in this country.
And I think I agree with Kemini perfectly. It's a significant step in that a lot of the times when you are aiming for the roof and beyond. And now there's a certain level that you can look beyond now. You can't wake up and think that, look, I want to be the first female president. You know that that is the level that you have to take us to. You know that the issue of the first female vice president is done and dusted.
Indeed.
We're going to have her in a couple of hours. And
Absolutely.
so it's a very significant step, and it should always be a shining example for a lot of young girls across the country. I don't know what, Alfred, you think of that, Alfred Okansi?
Well, welcome to the party.
That, really, thank you guys. We always have this conversation about female representation in politics after the horse has bolted, really. Because before we get into an election, you know, we'll talk about it, you know, once a while, but then afterwards, then we start saying how many MPs who are female have been elected into this 9th parliament. In fact, if you look at the numbers as of the dawn of today, when the roll call was made in parliament, the previous parliament we had 40. The number has reduced, unfortunately, Kemini. In this 9th parliament, even though there's an additional seat increasing the number of seats there to 276, the number of female representation, or the female MPs in this 9th parliament has also reduced, and that's one thing that is not quite encouraging for us. You know, but then again, the most important aspect of all of this, as we're talking about today, is to see Professor Nana Jane Opoku Agyeman become the first female vice president. That is a boost to our democratic credentials as a country and as a people, if you look at the continent as well. And as we're seeing right now on the screen, a number of the dignitaries still arriving. We have a number of the heads of states and then also their vice presidents in town. And one to look out for as well, as we're seeing, we have a former president of the People's Republic of Nigeria. Also there, we have the president of Nigeria himself as well, and there the former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, is also here in present. We also have the Belgian foreign minister also present in there, and the delegation of the United States President Joe Biden. That's also he's an outgoing president himself, you know, also in there as well. And then we have the Virginia Palmer, who's the U.S. ambassador to Ghana, also present in there. In fact, we have in fact, a strong delegation from the UK as well. And as we go on, we'll have a conversation with the UK Minister in charge of Africa. He's also in town. And we'll be having a conversation with him as we go on here on your election command center. And
on your screen at the moment is the Chief Justice who will be swearing in the President-elect. And, you know, over the years, in moments like this, you hardly see the activities of the outgoing president. We saw him a while ago with his, as he refers to her, my beautiful wife, Rebecca. And...
you need the cue card. You need a cue card.
Well, so, I mean, Martin, we are currently at the stage where we are expecting the Right Honourable Speaker's procession to enter the chamber. And so that is the stage where we are now. We already completed the other stage in terms of the Chief Justice and the Justice of the Superior Courts coming in to take their seats. And so the next step that we expect to happen is that the Speaker will come in, will enter the chamber. All members were expected to rise to receive him. Then the Speaker will take his chair. Then he will call the House to order. And so then that becomes a formal parliamentary session. Then the majority and minority leaders, at the invitation of the Speaker, will join the procession to receive HE, the President-elect, and HE, the Vice President-elect, to the House. Then the next step will be that the President-elect and the Vice President-elect will be conducted into the chamber. Then the oaths administration goes on as well. And so that is it by way of what we can expect within the next maybe 15 to 20 minutes.
Oh, you forgot the first, speech to the people.
Yes.
The president would have to speak to us for the very first time. 8 years ago, we had a rather terrible experience after enjoying such a beautiful speech. We know what took place afterwards. And so we'll be very keen on marking.
You want to say that we later found out that half the speech was plagiarized. You didn't want to go there.
but I mean, the point I'm making is we'll be very keen on listening to the incoming president, because whatever he says on that at that moment will set the tone
very significant
for how his government goes.
And it becomes the key speech that we are going to look out for at the end of the 4-year tenure. I mean, this is a president who will be doing one term. And I say so because if you remember that speech, beyond the concerns about the plagiarism that had taken place, that speech many thought was a defining moment because it was the speech that the Ghana Beyond Aid was loudly trumpeted. I mean, the verdict is out there. 8 years on, the verdict is out there. I mean, we don't have to argue about it at all. I mean, we know how things have been.
Remember, it was also the speech that encouraged the people to be citizens and not spectators.
Well, that falls within the plagiarized text, and so you can understand if you are still not, you have some concerns about it.
If we were not allowed to be citizens.
Well, it depends on how you want to look at it. But I mean, the keys, the significance of this particular address cannot be overemphasized. I mean,
absolutely.
We expect him to state quite clearly what his focus will be. And Mr. Mahama, in terms of His Excellency, I mean, during the campaign period, he had made a point strongly that he's an experienced hand. He's an experienced hand. He had been described by his political opponents as a second-hand driver. But the fact of the matter is that for the first time, we are going to have someone who is taking the oath, who has been president before. Mind you, he was at the presidency for 8 years, 4 as vice, 4 as president, then 8 years in opposition to see how Ghana has been managed, which in his opinion was mismanaged. He comes across with lots of experience.
I'm not sure it's just in his opinion, is it?
We have
the verdict is out there, especially after the last
Let's just put it out. The Speaker of Parliament, Right Honourable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagwin, has just arrived at the Independence Square where a parliamentary session is taking place right now. It's safe to say that he is the one who is going to preside over the parliamentary sitting today, winning power again after 8 years in opposition. And this is the moment, as we're seeing right now, with the arrival of President-elect John Dramani Mahama. Kemini, this is the moment we've all been waiting for, is it not?
Absolutely. And look at how packed the places. We are indeed ready for history. Let me quickly bring in my guests, pick their quick thoughts on events we are seeing so far. Prof, I'm going to start with you. The day has begun well. We're seeing the number of dignitaries and people who have thronged the Independence Square. What are your expectations of today? Your quick thoughts.
Okay, thank you so much, and good morning to your viewers. I think it speaks very well of our democracy and how far we have come as a country. But largely, the whole concept of inauguration is a generic term that represents three key things. So one, we are looking at the pomp and the pageantry that comes with this. Two, we are looking at the swearing in of the president-elect and then the vice president-elect. And then three, we are looking at the inaugural speech. That is the first policy position that the president-elect is going to deliver. In some countries, it's usually meant to address ill feelings and unite a country that has been divided as a result of a campaign, hectic campaign, or any other thing that might have happened in the past. In some cases, it can be used to appeal for support of the country to rally behind him.
Prof, unfortunately, we're going to have to go. Alfred, where are you taking us now?
So we're going straight to the Parliament House at the Black Star Square. The Speaker is speaking now.
Honorable majority and minority leaders may proceed now.
Welcome the president-elect.
The first arrival will be the vice president-elect, then followed by the president.
Precisely. Giant quantum from drums. Sounding out the rhythm of Ghana. And now we have on our screens the police mounted squadron escorting, I believe, the vice president-elect to the ground.
The crowd is ecstatic. The noise here is deafening, but it is all for happiness and for joy. We are witnessing a momentous occasion, Ghana having its first female vice president.
The bedlam here is intense. It is intense. There is much joy, happiness, excitement, all in readiness for what we are about to witness.
And security is also in full force. We have various security personnel deployed to ensure the total safety and security of personnel. They are all playing critical roles to ensure that this event goes seamlessly, devoid of any major hitches. We have rich display of culture.
I believe that is...
And that is DSP Mary Agamba. She's in charge of the police mounted squad.
Invited guests arriving now is the president-elect of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Shall we all wave our flags to welcome him? Invited guests. Arriving now is the President-elect, John Dramani Mahama. He is accompanied by his spouse, soon-to-be First Lady, Her Excellency Lordina Dramani Mahama. Shall we all wave our flags to welcome him? Into the Chamber of Parliament here at the Black Star Square. The entourage of Parliament includes the clerks of Parliament and other senior officials of Parliament. We will soon enter the Chamber of Parliament, and so the Speaker of Parliament will shortly take over. Shall we please rise as they process into the chamber? Photographers and media personnel are allowed at the designated places on the square. Please, if you are not authorized to be on the square, kindly move back.
members, you may now resume your seats. Members, I now have the singular honor and pleasure to invite Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, to administer the oaths to the President-elect and the Vice President-elect. We will start with the Vice President-elect, who will take and subscribe to the oath of allegiance and the oath of the Vice President. Your Ladyship, the Chief Justice, you may now do so now.
Excellency, first the oath of allegiance. Kindly say after me. I, Professor Nana Jane Oboko Ajiman, do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold.
That I will uphold.
The sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
The sovereignty and integrity of Ghana.
And that I will preserve.
And that I will preserve. Protect
and defend
the
Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. So help me God.
So help me God.
the oath of the Vice President. I, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, having been elected to the office of Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, to the office of Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, do in the name of the Almighty God swear. Do in the name of the Almighty God swear that I will be faithful. That I will be faithful and true to the Republic of Ghana. To the Republic of Ghana. That I will at all times preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. The Constitution of the Republic of Ghana. And I dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana, and to do right to all manner of persons. I further solemnly swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the Republic of Ghana, and suffer the penalty for it. So help me God. Congratulations, Madam Vice President. Thank you. Lift your baby.
Honorable members, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana shall now sign the oath book.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
She's almost done signing the oath after the oath had been administered to her, and we can safely say that for the first time, Ghana has a female vice president, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, being helped by the Chief Justice, also signing the same oath book as well, and the Judicial Secretary is also in short. There's also the Clerk of Parliament, who had quite a day in the early hours, just a couple of hours ago. And so, Her Excellency, congratulations are in order.
Indeed, and you saw, I think the Chief Justice leadership took on is more elated than the Vice President as we speak, because she was just smiling, and when she was administering the oath of office of the Vice President, she was just, her joy was evident. The joy was evident, absolutely. This is...
Immediately after the elections, when she spoke to the gathering, to thank the people that, for voting for them. Remember that she wasn't well. She was wearing a mask. So this is the first time we are seeing her outside of that event. And she's looking very well.
The
very
point
healthy.
About the ceiling thing we were talking about earlier, and Jeffrey Tokonu, her ladyship will understand that, because once Georgina Wood came in, we had to fire Kufu. Then Nina came in between, then she also came in. And so that kind of gives the idea that she's taking a seat for the very first time.
And if I'm not mistaken, you could also tell from the Chief Justice's voice when she was saying, congratulations, Madam Vice President.
That is the point of the joy.
Absolutely, she seemed to have been proud, for the fact that, this is our very first female Vice President.
Absolutely, and history has been made.
And look at how gorgeous, majestic she looks in that seat. Oh, goodness, it's so beautiful. The very first female Vice President.
Absolutely. Your Excellency, you may now proceed to do so.
Your Excellency, kindly say after me, this is the oath of allegiance. I, your name,
John Dramani Mahama,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
That I will bear true faith.
That I will bear true faith.
And allegiance.
And allegiance.
To the Republic of Ghana.
To the Republic of Ghana.
As by law established.
As by law established.
That I will uphold.
And that I will uphold.
The sovereignty.
The sovereignty.
And integrity.
And integrity.
Of Ghana.
Of Ghana.
And that I will preserve.
And that I will preserve.
Protect.
Protect.
And defend.
And defend.
The Constitution.
The Constitution.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
Of the Republic of Ghana.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Your Excellency, now the presidential oath.
I, John Dramani Mahama,
having been elected
to
the high office
of
President of the Republic of Ghana, do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
that I will be faithful
that I will be faithful
and true to the Republic of Ghana, that I will at all times preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana, and that I dedicate myself to the service and well-being of the people of the Republic of Ghana, and to do right to all manner of persons. I further solemnly swear that should I at any time break this oath of office, I shall submit myself to the laws of the Republic of Ghana, and suffer the penalty for it. So help me God. Congratulations, Mr. President. Let me be the first.
What is happening now is that he is signing the oath book. That is what is happening now. In the earlier moments, we saw the president-elect take the oath and subscribe to the oath of allegiance and presidential oath. Then he will sign the oath book, which he's doing now. Once he's done, the national anthem will take place, and there will be a 21-gun salute to herald John Dramani Mahama taking over officially as President of the Republic of Ghana.
Also, the Right Honourable Speaker will then invite the President to deliver his inaugural address. So that is the address that Kemini earlier you mentioned is going to speak to the Ghanaian people and in fact the entire world as President of the Republic of Ghana for the second time.
Indeed.
And that is the first in our history as a people. And a lot of talk already has started about his outfit today. In fact, if you look down into history, the late Jerry John Rawlings was sworn in. On that day he was sworn in, he had kente with the white inner. And then also he repeated the same attire in 1996. In 2000, John Agyekum Kufuor, when he was being sworn in, also had kente, but without any inner. You know, because you know the Evers wear the white inner, but the Ashantis do not wear anything. They show you their muscle and how tough they are. So John Agyekum Kufuor had kente without an inner. Fast forward to the late John Evans Mills, he had kente as well, but with an inner, because the Fantis also dress the same way. Then John Dramani Mahama, in fact, his first stint, this is not how he dressed.
No.
Right? And that's the point that you were making earlier. So fast forward to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, he had kente on with no inner. He also showed that how muscular he was at the time in 2016. Then in 2024, we had this one as well. And that's what you're seeing right now with the President, John Dramani Mahama, now.
Today he's doing the one hand.
With one hand.
Yeah, he's holding the state sword. I mean,
it's very important. And
so
it's symbolic as well.
It's the symbol of presidential authority.
That is the symbol of authority of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Now he's held it with double hands, and also that has a meaning. If you recall, this became a talking point in 2016 when he held it with just one hand. In fact, the state sword, as we would call it, the
Oman Akumfua.
Yes, a symbol of presidential authority, first held by Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah when he swore the oath of office on the 1st of July 1960. Blake, what do we know about this?
It's made of solid gold. The design is based on that of the double-bladed Afenanta, a traditional symbol of interstate peace. And that is what we saw him holding for the very first time in terms of it being sworn in again.
So the president is actually exchanging pleasantries with the very core individuals he'll be working with closely. So first, his wife, Lordina Mahama, and then also the chief of staff, whom he shook hands with, and the deputy as well. So he's moving towards he just crossed the maze of parliament. Ordinarily, maybe everybody bows before the maze of parliament, but he's just walked past it.
Martin, I can tell you where he's heading. He's heading to the seat of state.
Yes, he's going to sit on the seat of state by the Speaker of Parliament. So there he is. Again, you can see exchanging pleasantries with the Speaker of Parliament, his Vice President, Professor Jane, and the Chief Justice. Now, he's about to sit for the second time on the seat of authority, more or less, you can call it that way, which is the presidential seat. So,
indeed,
just to tell you
and you know, gentlemen,
we've gone full circle now.
Just drawing my attention to the fact that it is only John Dramani Mahama who's been sworn in 3 times. When Professor Mills died in 2012 and today. Yeah. So the history is a lot going on here. The record he's setting is a lot going on here today, right?
And it's interesting. If you read his book, My First Coup d'etat, he makes the point about how a lot of the events that took place in his life were not within his control. He always makes the point that at every turn when he doesn't seem to know what lies next or what he intends to do next, something happens within fate that turns his life around. And he makes reference to how that very first coup d'etat changed his life, not just of himself, his entire family. Again, he makes the point about how at various points when he didn't even intend to know what he wants to do next, he ended up in politics, which was not his initial intention. We also know for a fact that the moments when he thought of exiting politics as well, he was asked to be vice president, and when he even thought he was still done and he didn't want to be part anymore, we saw what happened again. He becomes president, and we see him staying away for 8 years and coming back.
A true nation builder, committed to forging a brighter future for all Ghanaians. John Mahama embodies the pillars of leadership that our nation craves: trustworthiness, reliability, modesty, and above all, truthfulness. From the moment he stepped into the political arena, John Mahama has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to the people of Ghana. His approachable demeanor, paired with his genuine concern for the needs of the Ghanaian, has earned him their trust. A trust that is pivotal for any leader aiming to guide a nation through challenging times.
What I really like about JDM is his humility. The man is simply so down to earth, it's unbelievable. He's so humble, it's unbelievable. I really like that about him.
John Mahama osronyame, odonyame, osronyame, openi pasem, okita kumapa. Mihuna se mihumi ni abema. Oyobi nso a onyiye nipam. We are akwala o, we are openi o, we are pepeni o, we are twibi o, we are bebi a tribe bia o fibia John Mahama pewase. On kase we inye twibi, we inye we.
Honorable members, President Mahama is practical. He communicates his issues very, very well. And he understands the Ghanaian politics very well. He understands the Ghanaian people very well. And that is what I like about him.
The brand, John Dramani Mahama, is not just a name. It represents resilience, strength, progress, and empathy.
I believe John Dramani Mahama is loved by many. His personality.
And now, on your behalf, invite His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, to deliver his inaugural address. Your Excellency, you may now proceed to do so.
the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Members of Parliament, Her Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, Jane Nana Opoku-Agyeman, Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, Your Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, President of the Federal Republic of Ghana, and special guest of honor for this occasion, Your Excellencies, Presidents, Heads of Government and Development Agencies, Your Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and former Presidents, Your Excellency Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers and sisters. I wish you a good morning, and we give thanks to the Almighty God on this occasion. Our Father who art in heaven, we thank you for giving us this day, a day that offers me, your humble servant, a unique opportunity to work to reset our dear country, Ghana. 32 years ago, on January 7th, Ghana made its first and most successful democratic transition, a reset, with the swearing in of the newly democratically elected President, Jerry John Rawlings, of blessed memory. Our nation was returned to a multi-party democracy with a new constitution that went into effect, and the Fourth Republic was officially established. I refer to it as a reset because on that day in 1993, we made our fourth attempt at establishing a democratic system of government with term limits based on free, fair, and transparent elections. The handover of power on January 7, 2001, between former President Jerry John Rawlings and at the time the newly elected President John Agyekum Kufuor, tested that reset, and our nation passed with flying colors. So today, with my induction as the new President of the Republic of Ghana, history is being made once again. And it is a history worth repeating every 4 years with each newly elected president. Today, we're also making a different kind of history, one that speaks to our maturity as a democracy, a nation of citizens enfranchised with the authority at the polls to determine their political future. Today's exercise, the outgoing president, having served one term, and he was the incoming president, having been given a mandate by the people of Ghana to lead this great nation of us. He and I both understood on that day, as I'm sure we are today, that it is the people of Ghana that we are elected to serve. Somehow, it seems fitting that it is with Nana Akufo-Addo that I twice shared this stage and this unique historical distinction, because Nana Akufo-Addo and I began our national political careers in Parliament in the same year, 1996. He has always greeted me with warmth, a firm handshake, and a smile, and he is perhaps the only person in my life who has persistently chosen to call me Johnny. While we belong to opposing political parties, we shared a sense of mutual respect. In those early days, we probably could not have imagined that destiny would bring us to the leadership of our respective parties, and that we would have to face off 3 separate times as we each vied for the highest office of the land. Nana, as this will be our final meeting under these circumstances, and as I look back on the journey we have traveled together, 2 much younger men who entered Parliament together with a full head of black hair, and you with the same bald head and round eyeglasses, I have to say that you have, without exception, being a worthy opponent. I extend my warmest wishes to His Excellency, the former Vice President, Dr. Alhaji Mahmoud Bawumia. It was a grueling campaign, and we gave it our all. Your sportsmanship in making an early concession eased tensions and contributed to the early conclusion of the electoral contest. I wish you all the best in your endeavors. My brothers and sisters, the world in which Ghana exists today, as I begin this presidency, is not the same world in which we have lived under other presidencies. There are tensions and conflicts that have not previously existed between nations. These tensions and conflicts place pressure on alliances to decide where we will support. There's a seismic shift happening within the system of global economic dominance. Whereas the G7 nations, United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan once provided the highest percentage of the world's GDP, over the last decade, that number has been steadily dropping. However, the combined total of the GDP of the BRIC nations, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, UAE, their GDP has been consistently increasing. In 2023, for instance, the G7's combined total of world GDP was 30%. But by 2029, that number is predicted to drop to 27%. In 2023, the BRICS percentage of world GDP was 37.3%. And so what does this mean to us in Ghana? What could it mean to our economy? Where do we fit in this geopolitical maelstrom? Technology such as artificial intelligence has taken us to new heights, opening up the potential for national, financial, and personal security issues that we are not yet able to imagine. One example is the use of misinformation and algorithm manipulations on social media platforms to sway a particular group's sentiments towards or away from something. Now more than ever before, we need to strengthen our ties with our neighbors to ensure that we're working together to keep our sub-region safe. We stand in solidarity and work in alliance with all our neighbors in the sub-region. Recognizing the history of our borders, we also acknowledge that on the other side of our country's borders are our family members. They may be Ivorians, they may be Togolese, they may be Burkinabes, they may be Nigerians or Malians, but they are also Akans, they are Kassinas, they are Gwans, they are Ewes, they are Nzemes, they are Hausas, they are Moshis and Gurmes, because we are all part of one another, one big family. With the increase of the climate crisis, and as the waters grow warmer, melting the Arctic ice and permafrost, there's a greater likelihood for viruses that have been frozen and thought to be extinct for decades, perhaps even centuries, to begin to spread and create another global pandemic. The changing climate conditions, increased population density in urban areas, and mass international travel are enabling existing viruses to spread and mutate at a faster and faster rate than they did before. This is a serious challenge. Let us not forget the toll that the past epidemics of viruses like Ebola, COVID, and Mpox have taken on the families and communities and medical infrastructure in several of our neighboring countries and in the sub-region. Let us also not forget how swiftly and completely the COVID pandemic brought the entire world to a screeching halt. My government will be working diligently to strengthen our public health systems while monitoring the global health situation so that when, and not if, but when, the next pandemic or epidemic occurs, the loss of lives in Ghana will be minimal. The larger world exists around us and to some extent within us. While we cannot and should never use it as an excuse to stray from the direct and immediate needs of Ghana for the well-being of our citizens, we must also bear in mind that the affairs of the world, if we care to shape, lessen, avoid, or even at the other end of things, maximize the effect they have on us. My brothers and sisters, barely a month ago, we held historic elections that have caused dramatic shifts in our political landscape. I feel greatly honored that you, my compatriots, considered me worthy of receiving such an unprecedented and overwhelming mandate to steer the affairs of our beloved nation at this critical time in our history. The magnitude of this victory in the presidential elections and the gains that were made by my party, the National Democratic Congress, in the parliamentary elections naturally and justifiably resulted in great joy and celebration across our country, Ghana. But celebrations, no matter how justified and how well earned, must be supplanted by discernment, sobriety, and deeper insights into why we received this kind of mandate in the first place. By voting as you did on December 7th, the Ghanaian people conveyed a powerful message, yet often overlooked by us politicians. This message was powerfully emphasized by a giant of American political history, President Ronald Reagan, when he declared at his inauguration some 40 years ago that governments have no power except that granted by the people. While Ghanaians take great pride in our thriving democracy, they are deeply dissatisfied with the quality of governance over the years and have openly voiced that dissatisfaction through the decisive actions that they undertake at the elections. Our people also understand that democracy is not just a token adorned with periodic elections followed by pomp and pageantry with the establishment of a new government. They expect that if democracy is celebrated as a superior means of governance, then its outcomes must be more tangible and benefit them in their individual lives. Any honest introspection and reflection on the pulse of our nation would reveal that many within our population do not feel that they have benefited from or partaking in this democratic dividend. Where people buffeted by severe economic crisis and hardships, and in the last few years we have lurched from crisis to crisis. But there is hope on the horizon. Today should mark the beginning of a new opportunity, an opportunity for us to make a difference in our governance and our economic management. We shall reset our dear nation, Ghana. To the millions of my fellow countrymen and women who joined long queues and waited in the sun for their turn to vote for me, you have my sincerest thanks for honoring me. My firm, immutable assurance is that your vote will matter in the work that I'll do to make a difference in the destiny of this dear nation of ours. Your courage to bring change will not go in vain. Our nation was born with much promise. That promise would seem hazy and in doubt now because of all that has happened in the past. But I urge you, my fellow countrymen, not to be sucked into a state of perpetual pessimism. For some time, our country has urgently needed leadership with an unwavering desire to get things done. I, with all humility, assent that I intend to be that leader with your cooperation and your help. As your next leader, I shall strive to exercise sound judgment and be able to make the right calls at the right time. I will have the humility and presence of mind to take responsibility for any challenges and be willing to act firmly and timelessly to resolve the challenges that we face as a nation. Since the elections, I have read and heard the word hope used many times in relation to my presidency and what it should offer the citizens of Ghana. I intend to speak plainly and clearly to you today, and every time I address you subsequently, I intend to always tell you the truth. The circumstances we find ourselves in are indeed dire, but even so, I'll be decisive and swift in my actions. We'll focus our initial efforts on 4 critical areas. The first is economic restoration and stabilization of the macroeconomic environment. The second is the improvement of the business and investment environment to ensure that Ghana is once again open for business. The third is governance and constitutional reforms. And the final, but not the least, is accountability and the fight against corruption. My brothers and sisters, actions have always spoken louder than words. With that in mind, I have entered into a covenant with you, the good people of Ghana, in which I have enumerated 26 actions that I'll take within my first 120 days. There is reason for hope, and there is every reason for hope. But we must also have faith, because faith empowers us to trust the things that will happen. With faith, you believe what you know, and that is why we need faith to be able to achieve our reset. We need a reset with the faith we have in our country and our leadership. We need a reset with the faith we have in our institutions. We need a reset with our faith in our dear nation, Ghana. And by that, I mean in all of us, because all of us are Ghana. You are Ghana, and I am Ghana. All of you seated here today, Ghanaian citizens, you are Ghana. The people who you are with or near you as you watch this on television, in your homes, or listen on radio, or follow on social media are what we call Ghana. I ask that we enter into the covenant with the Ghana we all love and the good people of our country who make up this dear nation. And I ask that you envision a Ghana that you want to live in, a Ghana that you want to leave behind to your children and your grandchildren. What can you do to help build that better Ghana that we all strive for? What behaviors, what attitudes and mindsets can we reset? We need a reset, and we have faith in Ghana's ability to overcome, excel, and be so successful with this reset that it will be difficult to imagine a time when that was not the case. As we stand at this momentous crossroads in our nation's history, I am honored and humbled to accept the mantle of the President of the Republic of Ghana. Today we celebrate a new administration and herald an unprecedented era of opportunity and transformation. With Nana, Jane, Opoku-Agyeman by my side, we are poised to embark on a journey of progress and inclusivity, united in our vision for a more prosperous Ghana. This day is particularly special for us and for every Ghanaian who dreams of a society where barriers are shattered and ambitions are realized. With the inauguration of Ghana's first female vice president, we have turned a significant page in our history. Nana Jane's ascension to the high office is not merely a personal triumph. It symbolizes our collective commitment to fostering a nation where gender equality and female representation are cherished and amplified. This is a powerful testament to the power of diverse voices to shape the future, voices that have the courage to soar beyond our traditional confines. My brothers and sisters, together as we look to the horizon, we reaffirm our dedication to breaking the glass ceiling that has long hindered many from reaching their full potential. Governance that reflects all segments of our population strengthens our democracy and enriches our conversation. We stand committed to enacting policies that empower women and ensure that the door of opportunity is opened wide for our youth and our women, regardless of their background. Together, we'll galvanize our efforts to create a society where every Ghanaian can dream, believe, and achieve without any restraints. Remember that great leadership is not defined merely by the offices we occupy, but by the legacy that we leave for future generations. My administration, along with my Vice President, Nana Opokwajiman, will prioritize inclusivity, accountability, and innovation, forging pathways that will lead to the upliftment of all of our citizens. I'm profoundly grateful for this moment, a cornerstone in our journey towards a brighter future for Ghana. In this resounding victory, I see a clarion call, particularly from the youth of Ghana, a generation that is brimming with potential and dreams that are waiting to be realized. This moment is a powerful affirmation that your voices matter, that your aspirations are valid, and that your future must be our priority. We're committed to translating your hopes into action and creating opportunities for education, entrepreneurship, employment, and empowerment. Our policies will be tailored to sustain innovation and foster industry that engages today's young minds and equip them with the skills needed for tomorrow's challenges. Together with the private sector and captains of business, we will create decent and well-paying jobs. As we embark on this new chapter, I assure you that our decisions will champion diversity in all facets of governance, ensuring that every Ghanaian, regardless of your ethnicity, your gender, your age, your religion, or any background, will have the opportunity to contribute to our nation's story. Ghana's youth represent the heartbeat of our democracy. Their ambition will drive our policies as we strive to create an inclusive, equitable society where everyone has a seat at the table. Our vision hinges on the introduction and implementation of a 24-hour economy. We envisage an innovative and vibrant 24-hour Ghanaian economy, which will also be anchored in agriculture and agribusiness. This innovative approach will unlock potentials that have long remained dormant, enabling us to harness the energy and creativity of all our people. Just imagine a Ghana where our markets are alive and bustling at all hours of the day, with responsive public services accessible at all times, such that businesses can operate flexibly to meet the diverse demands that they are subjected to. And young people, including entrepreneurs, can find opportunities regardless of traditional institutions. The 24-hour economy model will also bolster job creation for the young people, stimulate local industry, and attract foreign investments, and allow us to build resilient communities and a sustainable future. This vision extends beyond mere economic transactions. It symbolizes empowerment, the empowerment of every Ghanaian to contribute to our national progress. My fellow citizens, this vision will allow us to embrace diversity, to cater to varied lifestyles and preferences, and foster a culture of inclusion, ensure that every citizen can enjoy the fruits of his hard work. To the business leaders and entrepreneurs, I invite you to support this new model and join me in shaping a business environment where creativity thrives and where the fruits of your investments contribute to the collective welfare of our nation. Your role in driving our economy forward cannot be overstated. Your innovation and dedication will be a backbone of our success story. And I pledge to you that we would look at the tax regime and rationalize them so that they are more transparent and fair. Members of the business community, I assure you, Ghana is open for business again. Let me thank you, Your Excellencies, my fellow presidents, for leaving what is a busy schedule behind and coming to join us at this ceremony. Your presence brings honor to this inaugural ceremony. And I want to extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you and to our sister countries who have traveled from near and far to be with us today. Your presence is a testament to the strong bonds of friendship and cooperation that exist between our nations. And I promise you I will work to foster the partnerships that transcends our borders, and I'll work collectively with you towards regional stability, economic growth, and mutual respect between our nations. To my friends from across Africa and the world, I thank you and welcome you to Ghana. And in our local parlance, I say Akwaba to all of you. To my family and fellow citizens, my wife Lodina, I thank you for your unwavering support and commitment to our shared vision. This journey is not mine alone. It belongs to all of us. It belongs to each of you. Let today be the dawn of a new era of hope, an era of job creation, an era of accountability, an era of institutional strengthening and resilience, and an era of unparalleled potential for all Ghanaians. We will write the next chapter in Ghana's story, and it will be one of promise, transparency, and transformative progress. My fellow citizens, this is a patriotic call to action for all of us to participate in building a nation that lives up to its promise, where hope thrives and dreams become a reality. Together, let us cultivate a brighter future for our beloved Ghana, where unity, progress, and equality are not just ideals we aspire to, but are the very fabric of our nation. In closing, I invite you to partner with us on this journey. Together, we can create a brighter future for our beloved Ghana, where unity, progress, and equality are not simply goals we are aiming for, but are the cornerstone of our society. Let's work hand in hand to foster these values and strengthen our nation for everyone. My fellow citizens, our invited guests, I thank you very much. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. I thank you.
members, on your behalf, I convey the gratitude of the House to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, for his address. Your Excellency, the House is extremely grateful to you. Honorable members, may now we have the presence of our special guest of honor in the distinguished personality of His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the President of the Republic of the Federal, I should say the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is my honor to now invite him to deliver his address. Your Excellency, you are welcome to do so now.
Excellency, President of the Republic of Ghana, Head of State and Government here present, Right Honorable Speaker and Members of Parliament of Ghana, members of the diplomatic corps, eminent personalities here present, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It is always good when a friend and brother can visit the home of a close neighbor to celebrate his success and progress with him. Today, we celebrate African democracy as Ghana and our beloved people mark the transition from one democratic government to another. This moment does not merely symbolize another milestone in the evolution of Ghanaians' democratic society. It further demonstrates that in West Africa, we are capable of democratic and productive endeavors. It is time that our continent critics stop forgetting the strides that Ghana, Nigeria, and others have made. We need not prove ourselves to them. We have nothing to prove to anyone except ourselves. We will lift our nations out of poverty and build strong and resilient
economies for our people. Today, I am here not only as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, but also as an African in resolute support of Ghana and our people. This moment is a source of pride and honor for Ghanaians, the entire continent, and its diaspora. The sun is out and the sky may be blue, but I see today a black star rising high in African sky. This black star shines over this nation, and its rays spread across this continent with a sense of shared history, hope, compassion, unity, devotion to our common welfare. While others may seek to demean Africa and keep brothers pitted against brothers, that shining star reminds us of who we are. Better yet, it reminds us of who we can be. That star reminds us always to strive and work together